All right, so we're moving on in the final segment. We're going to pivot over here to the world of wrestling inside the WWE world. And I'll be sharing my WWE Night of Champions PLE summary. So I'll be sharing my thoughts on all the matches that took place at the PLE last night in the world of wrestling inside the WWE world. So to kick off the show, to kick off the PLE, you saw Cody Rhodes defeat Randy Orton to become the new King of the Ring. Honestly, I thought this was a really good match between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. I think this is a long time coming. Well overdue that we finally seen a one-on-one match between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. I think Michael Cole and Wade Barrett touched up on it. It was the first time that we've seen it in the last 10 to 12 years in a wrestling ring. So it was a great student versus teacher matchup. We all know the legacy or the history of legacy with Cody Rhodes being a part of the group of Randy Orton being the mentor of Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. But this match was good between Orton and Rhodes. I mean, there were some good spots here. The suplex that Randy Orton hit off the top rope on Cody Rhodes, both men crashing down to the canvas. You also had the Cody Cutter, the picture-perfect RKO that Randy Orton hit, catching Cody Rhodes out of mid-air for that near fall. This match was really good and some great in-ring wrestling. And the storytelling was on full display because you can see Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes were very desperate. Not only was the King of the Ring crown on the line, but a chance to punch your ticket to the main event of SummerSlam and challenge John Cena for the WWE title was also at stake. So both wrestlers were doing anything it took to win the match. And Cody Rhodes was doing some heel tactics. Look back at the match. He was trying to get any advantage that he could against Randy Orton, trying to target his back. And he used the exposed turnbuckle to his advantage, throwing Randy Orton to the exposed turnbuckle to hit the crossroads on Randy Orton to win the match. So I think a heel turn is not impossible to think of for Cody Rhodes' future. And a heel turn for Randy Orton is not impossible for Randy Orton down the line because Randy Orton looked very pissed off that he lost the match and was not happy that Cody Rhodes did some dirty tactics in order to get the upper advantage on his former mentor. But Cody Rhodes is now the new King of the Ring and has punched his ticket to the main event of SummerSlam for a WrestleMania rematch against John Cena for the WWE Championship. Now, moving on to the next match, you had Rhea Ripley defeat Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight. Now, I thought this was a really good match. Both women beat the hell out of each other. The spots were kind of brutal in this match, too. Raquel Rodriguez power bombing Rhea Ripley through the timekeeper's area. I don't know if that was a part of the announce table that she got driven through, but it was by the timekeeper's area that Rhea Ripley got power bombed on. I thought that was a really good spot. Weapons were involved as well. Rhea Ripley was whipping Raquel Rodriguez with the belt. Roxanne Perez actually interfered. You know, she's a member of the Judgment Day now. And she tried to help Raquel Rodriguez win the match, but the finish was good with Rhea Ripley hitting a riptide, an avalanche version of a riptide on Rhea Ripley or on Raquel Rodriguez on top of the turnbuckle, on top of the table, going crashing and burning down to the mat, down to the canvas, and that was all she wrote. Rhea Ripley picked up the big win. But something I want to touch up on, I think this is the best match that I've seen Raquel Rodriguez have in singles competition in quite some time. We know that she was a former NXT champion, did a tremendous work in the NXT Women's Division years ago. But since she's been on the main roster, she's a 4-time Women's Tag Team Champion. She's been a bodyguard for Liv Morgan at times. And we haven't seen that full version that we've seen on the NXT days translate to the main roster for Raquel Rodriguez as much as she's been on the main roster for quite some time now. So I think she could still wrestle. I just like to see her in some bigger moments, some bigger opportunities and one-on-one competition, especially with Liv Morgan being out, unfortunately, due to that shoulder injury. So I thought this was a pretty good match, a part of the card. The next match you had Sami Zayn defeat Karrion Kross. Now, this was a slow-paced match. Karrion Kross is gaining more confidence in the ring. This is another guy, or another talent, that was a former NXT champion. He got released. We know he got released years ago and then got brought back by Triple H, but he's starting to gain the confidence in the wrestling ring again. And more opportunities, I feel like he could be more beloved by the WWE Universe and be a legitimate threat on Monday Night Raw with Scarlett, his wife, by his side. So the match between Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross was solid at best, decent, but Sami Zayn being the underdog of the match, winning was expected. And I believe this feud will continue because we know Karrion Kross is the ear and Sami Zayn's is the voice in Sami Zayn's ear that keeps telling him you're not world championship material. You'll never be a world champion. So this match will probably continue, or this feud will probably continue on Raw. We'll probably see a rematch in a few weeks on Raw soon. But this is a good addition to the card. Now, next match, you had Solo Sikoa defeat Jacob Fatu to become the new United States champion. Now, these Samoans were beating the hell out of each other, reminding me how good Solo Sikoa is. Now, I think they were holding back just a little bit. I do believe they got way more in-ring matches to give us and better wrestling to give us next time these two respective wrestlers get in the match, because obviously the wrestling was the story, but also building the Bloodline 2.0, the foundation of that, Solo Sikoa and his minions again, was the real story in this United States Championship match. And you had Solo Sikoa, now you have Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, JC, and now Tala Tonga that has now debuted to the WWE, did some work in New Japan Pro Wrestling over the years, and has some history with Jacob Fatu wrestling and other promotions other than the WWE. So now the Bloodline storyline, we're like in the 19th inning at this point. Honestly, I think the story of the Bloodline should have ended when Roman Reigns got his Alafala back on the debut episode on Netflix, the Raw edition of the debut Netflix, the Raw debut on Netflix, as I get tongue-tied. But I just don't know why we keep doing this. Like, the Bloodline storyline should just be over with. Once this Solo and Jacob Fatu story ends, just ended. All these Samoans just go their own separate way. We have seen this story start from 2020. We're in 2025 at this point. Come on, guys. I mean, Roman's already lost the title. Let's move on here. But now Jacob is outnumbered, and with the Bloodline, you always have your cousins, your brothers, your allies, your nieces, your nephews you can depend on. So we'll probably see Jacob Fatu depend on Jay and Jimmy the Usos to help him get the advantage over Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline. So get ready. I was looking forward to this story between Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu for the United States title. I still am. But damn, I am so ready to be over this Bloodline storyline. So let's get it over with this summer and move forward. We'll just live in the past with the memories, but no more on television. Damn with these Samoans. But a side note I also want to touch upon, Solo Sikoa is actually unhinged and unstoppable in Saudi Arabia. I mean, over the years, he's defeated John Cena clean, pinned Roman Reigns clean in that 6-man tag team match of Bloodline, the Bloodline rivalry last year, and now he just defeated Jacob Fatu, winning the United States title. It did that in under 2 years, which is crazy. So Solo Sikoa is he's unbeatable as in Saudi Arabia territory. But moving on to the women's Queen of the Ring tournament, you had in the finals, you had Jade Cargill defeat Asuka to become the new Queen of the Ring. Now, this match honestly was very bland. It was the worst match of the night, respectfully. I thought Jade Cargill and Asuka could have gave us much more. I thought it would have been a much better match. But these two, don't put them in the wrestling ring with each other again, or until further notice, because they don't have any in-ring chemistry together. You can tell. And Asuka has the history of putting on great matches with any woman, but for whatever reason, her and Jade Cargill, their styles could not mesh with each other in the wrestling ring last night. So it was the worst match, and like I said, I think they were better off letting Roxanne Perez face Asuka in the finals. You would have got a much better match. And you could have had the story continue between Naomi and Jade Cargill, with Naomi costing her a spot in the final of the Queen of the Ring tournament. I think that would have been a much better match, a much better option for Asuka to become the Queen of the Ring fresh off of her return. You push her to the moon to face Io Sky for the women's world title at SummerSlam. But now you're going in the direction of Jade Cargill winning the Queen of the Ring tournament, and she will probably face Tiffany Stratton for the women's championship at SummerSlam. I don't have a problem with that, and I don't have a problem with Jade Cargill winning the tournament, but the match just felt very bland, and that's very unfortunate with two talented wrestlers. But Jade Cargill is the first ever African-American woman to win the Queen of the Ring tournament. Thought I would acknowledge that. That's a great accomplishment for Jade Cargill. And in the main event, you saw John Cena successfully retain his WWE Championship against CM Punk. Now, nostalgia is a real thing, and I felt it in the build-up. I felt it in the final match that we've seen between John Cena and CM Punk. One of the greatest rivalries of all time has unfortunately come to an end. I want to see it one more time. Damn it, let CM Punk be Cena's final opponent. I've seen enough. They are great with each other. But if this is the final time, I think this is good. They still tapped into that magic that they had over the years. And this match was really good. They had several near falls, wrestling counters, several attitude adjustments, AAs, several GTSs. The false finishes were really good, and the mind games were on full display as well. But the story was that John Cena was debating whether to cheat or not to cheat, and you can tell a face turn is coming soon for the greatest of all time in John Cena. Do I mind the outside interference? No, because this is what you're supposed to do if you hold that Money in the Bank contract, male or female. You're supposed to add more drama, and you're supposed to tease in cash-ins as much as possible. So Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman interfering, I don't have a problem. Plus, you guys got to remember Seth Rollins and CM Punk still have an unfinished rivalry that they're still trying to tap into. So the outside interferences of Penta and Sami Zayn also, I don't have a problem. The finish was pretty unique with Seth Rollins basically bashing CM Punk's head in, hitting the stomp, and then Cena basically throwing Seth Rollins out the way so he could pin CM Punk to retain the title. Why are we complaining? Now, maybe the interference wasn't needed for the final time of CM Punk and John Cena, but there's a story here, and there's a briefcase involved, and Charles Robinson, even the referee, even got laid out by John Cena that did a signature Ray Lewis tackle in the WWE world. I don't mind the main event, guys. I think this was probably the best match of the night, Cena and Punk. The interference was pretty good. So, John Cena retaining the WWE Championship was going to happen, and now we're moving full steam ahead to SummerSlam, where we get the WrestleMania rematch between John Cena and Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. But overall letter grade that I'll give on this Night of Champions card, I give it a B-. I'll give it a B- only because I was expecting more. Now, I will give credit to Triple H for finally adding more than 5 damn PLE matches to card, but the Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton and the John Cena CM Punk matches carried the card, in my opinion. Every other match, I mean, the Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez match, I was really impressed with. But everything else just felt like it could have been an addition of Raw or SmackDown. That Jade Cargill and Asuka match was really a letdown to me. So I'll give it a B-. But those are my thoughts on the Night of Champions PLE card. That is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.